I'm excited for the rest of this show. Got some, just got a few more comics left. Some real dear friends. This next one of the dearest friends of mine. He's open for Kevin Hart. He's a writer for Mr. Beast. Give a warm welcome to Chance Nichols.
I need this! Please! You have no idea! I'll kill myself if this doesn't go well! I swear to fucking God, I'll hang myself from the Christmas tree outside if you don't laugh. And if you're gonna take pictures or videos of me, whatever, I don't care. Just do it from a fucking flattering angle, please. I lost 40 pounds this year, and some of you, thank you. Oh, fuck off. Fat is in vogue now. It's a nightmare. Yeah, that's my life. Avery, give it up for Avery real quick. Avery's great. He lives in my garage, and I love him to death for it. God damn, I was a really good boy when I was little. I didn't like causing trouble. I was raised by like old people, so I was like, look at those kids being rambunctious. Fuck them. And we would ding dong ditch, but I always did it a little wrong, where all my friends would be like, ding dong, and I wouldn't run. I'd stand there, and the door would open. I'd go, I think your wife is hot. It got me laid twice, so that's pretty cool. I've lived a long life. I've lived a hard, weird life. I just turned 19, so it's like, that's a weird thing to laugh at. No, I'm a sweet boy, and but I'm a sweet boy, but I'm a horrible man. I've hurt many. I come from a land called Missouri, which is, of course, a Native American word for meth at Applebee's, and it's rough. I'm from the part of Missouri that touches Arkansas, which is like a lot of cousin fucking, a lot of fucking cousins, a lot of them. I got some of them, but I went to college in Missouri, which is like saying I got a toy with my Happy Meal. Doesn't really mean much. So I go to this college called Missouri State University. Thank God. All right, cool. Usually I get a 1 Go Bears, but that's fine. John Goodman's an alum, so I don't know. Yeah, okay, John Goodman fans. That's nice. That's nice. I think that's a universally held opinion. Well, he's good. He's a great guy. Give it up for John Goodman. That's right. Now shut the fuck up. This is about me. So I went to school in Missouri, and I lived on campus for the first year of college. And then I tried to get out of it. I tried at semester because my roommate would bring his shoes, wallet, phone, and phone charger into the bathroom with him when he showered. I was like, do you think I'm going to rob you? I don't know what's going on. We live in the nice dorms that I signed up for on accident. Like, I don't know what you're doing. I tried to get out of my dorm contract, which is a real thing we have in this country, where they force 18-year-olds to spend $7,000 for 3 months' rent. And so I tried to break my dorm contract by lying about my grandpa's death. I went to like the Office of Student Housing, and I was like, I need to move back in with my family because my grandpa died, and I am now the man of the house. And the guy didn't even look up from his desk, and he was like, no. So I don't know, like, no to which part. But then I finally got to live off campus sophomore year, and I lived in a house that is, it's one of those college houses that has a name. Did you guys did that was a thing like at your school where it's like, oh, this house is fucked up enough to get a title. My college house was called the Normal House. And it was anything but. That was our little joke. Some of the people who lived in that house with me are dead now, but I did it. No, that'll be later. No, the Normal House is like, it's on Normal Street in Springfield, Missouri. So it's mind you, this is in the middle of the 3rd largest town in Missouri. So I lived in this house, my sophomore year, I lived in a hallway. In the house. It was a 4-bedroom house, and I was the 5th roommate, so I slept on the floor in a hallway in front of a bathroom. That's right. And now some of you are shaking your heads, but I want to let you all know that I had sex with a woman in that hallway that won an AVN award this weekend. And for those of you that are pretending not to know what that is, that's the porn Oscars. So that's right. She was not a porn star when we had sex, but you know the parts were all like there. Anyhow, I'm canceled. So I lived in the normal house. Now the normal house, it's one of those houses that's built on top of like a tree root system, so the floor is very uneven. You could like release some BBs onto the ground and they'd all go in a completely different direction. And I loved this house. The basement it was an unfinished basement with no floor. It was a dirt floor basement. And we found a bunch of like runes and skulls down there one time. There was a bunch of like writings to Baphomet like written on the wall in spray paint. We were like, awesome, this is cool. We're theater kids. I was a theater major, by the way. One of my Arkansas cousins who fucks another one of my Arkansas cousins was like, oh, big whoop, he's learning how to put on makeup for a living. And I was like, I got an A in makeup, you bitch. The normal house, a lot of dumb theater kid shit happened in this house. We also had a real problem with animals. There was a lot. Now, I said earlier, this house is located in the middle of like a pretty bustling town. But in the 3 years that I lived in that house, we pulled out over 200 mice out of that house. And by pulled out, I mean we murdered them and threw them away. We weren't like nice people to them. There was also one time a possum was in our house. There was a possum in the house. Possum in the house! Oh, hold on, there's the camera. I want this for TikTok. Possum in the house! I'll put the laughter in later. That's what most comics do. Most of this art form is like guys who play D3 baseball in college, like doing like clipping, like, so what do you do for work? That's fucking dumb. All right, I don't know. There's not a lot of people interested in the discourse of stand-up comedy that I understand. Back to work, monkey! Okay, so there was a possum in the house, and my roommates and I were all standing around like, my God, what do we do? So we called 911. We called 911, and she's like, 911, what's your emergency? And I say, hello, there's a goodness. And I realized as she was saying 911, what's your emergency? I should have said, I should not have called you good night. So I tell the woman, I'm like, hi, like I was doing like a voice that like if you had worked at a Starbucks and you were at a Starbucks and there was an issue and you don't want to be like that person, but you like need it fixed. You're like, hi, there's a possum in my house. And the lady was like, oh, wow, I just did like 3 like domestic assaults in a row. This is kind of a nice break. Yeah, I don't know. You can just try. We don't do that. You can try just like opening the door and seeing if it'll run out. And I was like, thank you for your service. So what we ended up doing is my roommate Adam, he put on a winter coat, gloves, and then oven mitts over the gloves, and then we duct taped the wrists so it was all one big piece like a suit. And we got a popcorn tin, like a Christmas, holidays, Jesus, you fucking liberals. A holiday tin and like poked holes in the top of it, and Adam like walks up, it's like in our pantry, like, and Adam's like, grabs it and throws it in the tin. We put the lid on it, and then we drive it 5 miles like into the country and release it. Catch and release. Thank you very much. So that was one. And then we had a bat in the house. There was a bat, and not of the baseball variety, of the man variety. This guy really liked that. He looked at his friend and went, he did it again! Look at that. Oh my God. So the bat is like in the house, and my friend Jalen, who did not live in the house, was just like, I'm so fucking sick of this, and just took it with his hand and walked out with it in his hand. Like, I can't fucking hang out of this house anymore. You guys suck, and like threw it. But the most iconic animal that we ever had at the Normal House at 701 East Normal Street, Springfield, Missouri, 65809, was, you know it, Bailey and I are from the same hometown, actually, so she's probably been in this house before. How do I get into this? So at our pantry, a bunch of boxes of crackers had been like stolen and like ripped open, and there's someone in here. And at night we would hear this chirping noise, like at night in our home. And we were like, that's probably like a pipe or something, right? And so we finally realized, all right, something's in here. It's probably another fucking squirrel or a possum or a rat or something. So we go and we put out... First off, the first night, I put a Bluetooth speaker back in the area where they were chirping, and I blasted like heavy metal music for like 3 hours. Like, this'll scare them? It's like psychological warfare. And it did not work. So we were like, fuck, we got to figure these things out. Probably just some damn mice again. We'll get some traps tomorrow. And then that night, my roommate Darian is texting our group chat of the house, and he's like, all caps, like, guys, they are in my walls. I can hear them walking. They're not mice. These things are heavy. That's what he said. We're like, fuck. So the next morning we woke up and we went to Home Depot and we bought. Now, I don't know if what your are the room's feelings on animals and blah, blah, blah are, but just know I was like a 20-year-old. We don't know what we're doing. We just want them out of our house. So we buy a box of what's called sticky traps. And yes, we did. That's what happened. I'm sorry. We didn't know. So we buy these sticky traps because we're like, we don't want to kill it. We just want it gone. So we lay out these sticky traps with like little pieces of crackers and whatnot. And we go to bed. And the next morning, I get a knock on my door at 7 in the morning, and it's my roommate Adam, and he's pounding. He goes, "Hey, wake up! It's not a squirrel! It's not a rat! It's a skunk!" So I go downstairs, and there is a full-grown skunk stuck to my kitchen floor. It had gotten into the sticky trap and then tried to roll of death like out of the sticky trap with the sticky on its fur, so it is now stuck to the linoleum of our kitchen floor, going trying to like pull itself up off my thing. And I'm like, I don't care about you. You ain't got no soul. And but I'm like, I have to get this thing out of my house. So I check, and the number for animal control, they don't open until 8 a.m. It's 7 a.m. So I sit there for an hour, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm just Googling, what happens if a skunk sprays in your house? The answer is, you have to fucking move out. Because skunk smell isn't just a bad smell. It chemically alters the makeup of fibers. So, like, carpet, couches, clothes, gone. So we're like, fuck. Call animal control. Hi, there's a skunk in my kitchen. They go, we don't do that. And I was like, there's an animal in my home that needs controlling. Where's the disconnect? And they go, you need a critter control person. So I go, fuck your mother, grandmother, and father. So I call a critter control person. I'm like, hi, there's a skunk in my kitchen. And the lady goes, oh, sorry, we don't do skunks. And I go, am I being punked? Like, what gives? I remember saying, what gives? And she goes, well, there's one guy in town that does skunks. I'll give you his number. It wasn't not a company, a guy. And I called the number, and it is, in fact, just a guy's cell phone. His name is Randy. And he goes, hello! I go, hi, I got your number from Chilton's Pest Control. There's a skunk stuck to my kitchen floor in a sticky trap. Can you come help? And he went, oh, yeah. So Randy comes over. He pulls up in his pickup truck that is just made of cocaine and meth. And he pulls up, and he gets out. He's a big old country boy with one eye, wearing overalls with a broken strap. His girlfriend / life partner / maybe sister, Crystal, who's just, her arms look like a minefield. Like, I don't know how better to say it. They get out of their house, and they look at me, and I point them to where the skunk is. They go inside. Randy goes, no problem. And so he comes in with a Tupperware like container and a sheet of metal, and he walks over to it, and he's got a squirt gun, like a little squirt gun, and he goes I swear to God, he goes, and he sprays the outside of and the skunk is like calm. This guy's the skunk whisperer. He sprays the outside to loosen it up, and he signals to Crystal, and she comes over with the Tupperware and hovers over it, and he takes the sheet of metal, and he goes, 1, 2, now, Crystal! And she drops it as he scrapes the skunk up. They stand up, and he goes, move, Crystal! And they run out of our house. And the skunk starts spraying in my yard, in the box. So it did not get in the house. Darian slams the door shut. And then Randy's like, you guys got 4 more of these in here. And he caught every single one of them. And I asked him, Randy, what do you do with these? He goes, I'm saving them for a rainy day. And then a few years later, I was watching the news, and as our nation's capital was being attacked, I see a man holding 2 skunks sprinting into the building going, America! God bless the heroes. It was a holiday a few days ago. Sic Semper Tyrannis. That's all I've got for you. I'm Chance Nichols. Good night.
Keep it going for Chance Nichols, everybody.